Hey everyone, what is up? Episode 2 of How to Climb Out of Silver today. Now, obviously if you don't know, this is a live commentary of me trying to climb, going to climb out of silver, but I kind of want to take you guys on the journey to show that while you're going to get bad teammates, you're going to get trolls, you're going to get, monkeys and bonobos, you can still climb out of silver. If you have the skill, you will be able to climb out, and that's kind of the whole purpose of this series. So I really hope you guys learn a lot. You kind of stay for most of it, and kind of watch as I get higher and higher, but just kind of learn everything about the game as we go along. So I'm versing an Echo, and it looks like I'm versing an Echo, so I'm not too... I might go something a little bit niche, or I could just go something boring, but I might try Cassiopeia this game. She's not bad against Echo. Not the best, obviously. However, I think it'll be a fine matchup, because I am, really comfortable on Cassio as a player, so I think that's something important. A lot of us, I've been telling everyone over Instagram, but I think it's important to reiterate that, it's one thing, for the champion to be meta or not meta, but if you, at the end of the day, if you're good at the champion and you enjoy playing them, chances are you're going to be able to climb on them. And if, you're not sure if you are good at a champion, simply go to a site like op.gg and literally look at your overall win ratio, your CS per minute, your KD, and then that's all you kind of have to look at to understand whether you're good at that champion or not. So it's looking like a Yasuo top lane, I think. Gragas jungle, Echo mid, so their jungle's going to have a little bit more pressure on me, probably pre-6, with Gragas being a bit of a better ganker than Hecarim, particularly in the early game. So, a quick little lane analysis. Riven Yasuo, Riven should do fine into that. If it's an even skill matchup, Riven will naturally win that lane. My lane, it's a bit of a skill matchup, but if we're both naturally the same level of skill, Cassiopeia should get the advantage, just because while Echo's got a good clear speed, Cassio's just a bit safer and a bit more versatile when you get into team fights and late game, and I obviously outscale Echo post 11, and so my real lane objective is to rush my tier, get it stacking, and then get myself in a healthy position by mid game, so level 10, level 11. I really want to have, my Archangels finished, and then looking to build into, could be a Zhonya's or a Morello's, looking at their team. In the early game, Hecarim, as I said, will get out-jungled by a Gragas, and Gragas does have Predator, so I'm going to have to respect that a lot in lane, particularly with Echo and a Gragas. It's quite a nice combo, particularly against a champion as a mobile as Cassiopeia. Bot lane should be interesting. I think we have the slightly weaker lane just because Leona can kind of tank a Nico and Vayne. However, if Nico can kind of kite Kai'Sa and Leona, it could actually be a really nice matchup. However, Kai'Sa does have press the attack and Vayne has gone lethal tempo. Not something I'd recommend on Vayne, just because lethal tempo is generally good on champions with a lot of range, and so Vayne doesn't have that much range. However, it can synergize nicely, I guess, with Vayne's ult, so I assume that's kind of what she's going for, and she has played quite a few games on Vayne, so I'm assuming she knows what she's doing. Interesting to note that Hecarim's also gone Predator. The general meta with Hecarim is Conqueror, and then you can usually go, Ignite Smite, so not too sure if he's a relatively new Hecarim player, as he only does have 30k points. However, we'll give him benefit of the doubt. I'm sure, he's going to do okay with it. It might actually make his early game ganks a bit better and him able to kind of keep up with Gragas' strong early game. So in lane, Echo's obviously looking for the kill on me, and so his win condition is pretty much get a kill before 6 and then just perma-shove the wave and then roam to bot and top. And, you know, that's probably going to be able to play out for him. He's probably not going to get the kill because I'm quite aware of that. However, he will naturally outpush me, particularly before I get my tier. As long as my team responds, I guess, to my missing pings, this shouldn't be an issue because I do eventually outscale Echo. So as long as I kind of keep an eye on him and make sure he doesn't get to any of my ally lanes, that's going to kind of be the big deciding factor in this mid lane. As long as I play it right, I should be fine and be in a really good position to start carrying this game into the mid and late game. So a little tip when not everyone's AFK on your team, mid laner, you generally want to sit here. And the reason for this is so in case your enemy team does 5-man group, they can't go through here, they can't go through here, and you just protect really nicely. So we do know now that they're 5-man invading. Now I will try and get a mana flow band proc here. However, I did miss. There we go. Got a nice bit of mana. Wasted pretty much all my mana. That's kind of one of the downsides as well as early game Cass, and so that's why you never really expect to do too well on Cassiopeia, is the fact that your mana costs are quite insane. You know, 50 mana for 375 mana. You're going to run out pretty quickly. Now I'm just looking early game to stack my mana flow band as quick as possible and not miss CS. There we go. Now the good thing is, or the kind of good thing is, Echo is respecting my early game damage. However, he is kind of paying the price for it. Now I am now in a really good position here. Because Echo, the good thing is when you get a little lead like this against Echo, he naturally has to push the wave into you. Otherwise he misses all the CS. And so Echo players generally panic and do this, which works quite well in... And there you go, first blood. Didn't have to force it, didn't have to flash. I just made him kind of uncomfortable in the lane, and that kind of makes him start not playing like he should be playing the lane. So, a really good kill there. That definitely wasn't in my, you know, pre-game analysis, and that's something I guess that's really important to talk about as well is, you know, you can analyze the game as much as you want, you can analyze your champion matchup, but at the end of the day, anything can happen once you get onto the Rift. And so obviously I capitalized on an Echo who was trying to push in the wave with his Q, and now he's looking... I think he's looking to get a kill here. I'll be fine. Can get a bit more damage off on him. And then I should be okay here. Now that was very greedy of me, however I did get out and now Echo is kind of stuffed, and I'm just going to TP back into lane with my Tear of the Goddess with 2 health potions and a control ward. And there we go. So, super greedy play by me. That was actually, you know, I wasn't actually planning to do that. However, it did pay off in the end. It's a good kind of example of, you know, getting a bit too cocky in lane. Obviously, I am commentating at the same time. However, I shouldn't be using any of those as an excuse for such a dangerous and kind of reckless play. I'm going to let Hecarim know that he did a good job there. Again, I think it's really important when your team does do something right that you not reward them, but you let them know that you're happy about it. Because this community is really, toxic when everything's going bad, but no one's positive. No one's positive when you're winning, You always see everyone still raging or still getting angry even when you're winning lane or winning the game. And so I think it's really important when, your teammates are doing well, let them know, because it just makes the community a lot better, but it also makes your game a higher chance of everyone else enjoying it and therefore everyone playing better, particularly on your team. Now notice here, I'm just kind of getting a nice little CS lead on this Echo now. I don't have to force anything because I am up 2 kills, which wasn't even part of my kind of early game win condition that I had. And there we go. Something that's really important with what I'm doing now as well, it's not only denying him resources, but it's tilting Echo. Now, while obviously you can't tell, if you were in his situation, you would be quite annoyed at how I'm playing this lane. So Echo had to use his ult, which is really good. Again, we didn't have to force that. Hecarim didn't have to flash or anything to get that, gank off. So a really good gank by him, and he definitely didn't overcommit. So while I was, I guess, a little bit worried about this Hecarim, he has actually proved that he's, not such a bad player. So now I'm actually being a bit greedy here, going for this extra wave, which means Echo is actually going to get back to lane. Greedy by me. Very greedy. Not much more you can say about that one. We will get the kill here, however, not the best kind of play by me. I do get the assist at least, but yeah, super greedy play by me. But we're learning, at least. So something that's really important, particularly when you're playing a champion with a tier, is stacking it on your way to your lane. Something really important that just allows you to get it fully stacked, that 3 to 5 minutes quicker, which can kind of make the difference, particularly if the game starts getting close. Now, while we are up 2 to 10, it's still good just to get into the habit of doing these little things. Now I'm throwing my W out just so he cannot actually queue to get the minions. And now he keeps missing catapults, so he's probably missed 2 to 3 catapults already this game. Just through me not having to force anything, but just, natural lane pressure. And he's on 38 CS to my 68. And I'm not doing anything phenomenal here. I'm not, playing out of my skin. I'm still making a lot of mistakes. Now, they are going to clear my pink ward. Got a lucky kill there with the Arcane Comet proc. Again, Gragas being a bit too greedy there. Now, because Echo's going to have to back here, I am going to hard shove this lane, try and get a turret plating, and then use my back timer. Now, the good thing is Echo's actually gone a bit greedy here, and he is going to look to try and collect as much of this wave as he can. Now here, I'm just going to do what I was going to do the previous wave. Push it out, because it now puts him at an even bigger disadvantage. Because now he doesn't have an optimal recall time, meaning I can get even more damage off. However, learning from my last death, I am not going to be greedy, and I'm just going to let the minions get that final plating, and then back, so I'm in a good position just to TP back in if I need to. Now, bad TP by Yasuo. You know, actually bad TP by Yasuo, but he did actually manage to outplay us there, so pretty good play by Yasuo. However, Riven should now get top turret off that. So while Hecarim did die, we're actually going to get a net positive trade there, which is a really good thing. Now notice how I actually haven't played this lane very well at all yet. I'm 3-1 up this much CS, and it just kind of shows you don't have to, you know, hard carry every game or play out of your skin to win a game. All you have to do is just play to how you're comfortable. You can make a couple of mistakes. It's not going to be the end of the world. Now Echo is looking for a kill here, however I'm just not going to let him have it. I am going to try and defend this, which I do successfully. Now Hecarim hasn't pinged me to get blue. That's something that's really important. I generally don't really care if my jungler isn't going to give me blue, unless of course I start it when he's not there, or you know, I do let him know that I need blue. Now notice how at the start of this game I expected this matchup to go a lot differently. And there you go, lethal tempo Vayne popping off. So now Riven's getting double kills, Vayne's getting double kills. This game is pretty much over. However, I am still going to play like I should be playing. I'm not going to, you know, start playing super differently because we're actually losing the game now. Now, I could have rotated there, but I assumed that Hecarim and Riven could get the kill on my mid laner, and I do actually get the turret. So that's kind of important for two main reasons. One, I trusted my teammates to do something, and they did it. Only because, you know, I've seen them in the game now, and they have played quite well. So I've given them a lot more trust than, say, what I was at the start of the game when I was saying, you know, I'm not too sure about this Hecarim, he's gone Predator. only has 20k points. Gonna back after this wave. I don't really have anything to do, and I am sitting on 2.7k gold. Sometimes if I'm feeling, you know, a bit aggressive, I will back in a bush that can kind of get me or set me up into a really nice place to, you know, get a kill on my way back in case someone does overextend or do something silly. However, then I had 2.7k and I really wanted to back, and I'm not actually at the stage of the game where I need to force anything, therefore I'm not going to force anything. And it's really important that although, you know, we are winning this so hard, it doesn't mean you have to, you know, keep the tempo at 21 kills at 16 minutes. You know, it could slow down as you start to focus more on objectives and out-rotating the enemy rather than continuing to make just bloodbaths, because bloodbaths are a lot harder to control than macro play, and so something that's really important is to make sure you don't get too ahead of yourself when you're winning these fights. So here, our bot lane decided, I don't know if they got caught, but they decided to fight without Riven or myself. Obviously, I'm rotating over because I do think we can get something here. Now, I do kill the Kai'Sa here. I could have actually got all three. However, the Yasuo's win wall was quite good, and I wasn't actually expecting that kind of damage output. I think the Ignite really hurt me there, because obviously Cassio heals a lot off his E. However, the good thing is I got a 2-for-1 off my death, and Riven did end up getting his tier 2 turret, killing Gragas, and getting to push this lane a little bit further. Another kind of macro advantage of what happened there, even though our bot lane made that mistake of overextending and getting caught out, we are now in a really good position to secure the next dragon. So although we kind of stuffed up that play overall, because we're so far ahead, we can still capitalize on it. So my team has decided not to go for mountain, so again, that's perfectly fine. I've got TP, so what I'm thinking I'm going to do is I'm going to do mountain drag, and then I'm going to TP in if I need to. However, I don't believe my team is going to need help here. I will ping them to back, as it is a 4v5, and now they are heading over to dragon, which is perfect. Now, because I know my team is going to get dragon, whether I'm there or not, what I'm doing is being as efficient as possible, and so getting the scuttle and the blue buff all the while my team is getting mountain. And that's just a little thing that can make a big difference when you do it every game, but also at every opportunity. If you know your team can secure an objective that's going to be uncontested, whether you're there or not, maximize your time instead and go do something else, because there's no point in 4 of you doing a mountain drag at 19 minutes when no one else is going to contest you on it. Now, I'm quite overextended here if I go for this next wave. However, I now know where Echo and Yasuo are, so I could look at doing something cheeky here. However, Kai'Sa is playing as if she knows this is as if she has vision on me, so I'm just going to let that slide. Yasuo is rotating down, so is Echo. So I'm just going to wait here, hope something happens. And now Echo's in a really bad position. Now, while I was never going to get out of that situation, at least we got Hecarim out, and it did become a 2-for-1. So, a super little greedy play by me there, even though I knew everyone on the map was actually missing. However, I did still decide to try and make a play here. It's funny because as soon as I ulted, I got the Predator notification that Gragas was coming in hot. While, you know, he didn't actually end up doing that much to me, it was a good warning sign, I guess, to maybe not have gone for that play. However, again, because we're ahead, I can get away with it. And that's, you know, that kind of main lesson for this game, I think, is being that you can afford to make mistakes, but make sure you're identifying those mistakes and understanding why and how they happen, because that's something super important you need to do. Otherwise, you will keep making those mistakes, and they are a lot more drastic when you are losing the game. However, because we're winning, I can get away with those kind of silly mistakes. Or more aggressive plays. And as a team, we still come out on top. Now, my team does want a group, which is interesting. I'm happy to do it. Now, we just wasted Leo's ult, and I got Echo to half health by literally doing nothing. Just being in good positions. Now, if Kai'Sa does jump on me here, all I have to do is ult wherever she is. Because I do have flash up now, I am going to try and keep the pressure. But rotate over towards my team. Really nice bait by me there. All I have to do is Zhonya's here, and we do get the really nice team fight. So there, even though I did actually get caught out by using the blast cone, I turned it to my advantage using my activated abilities at perfectly kind of the right time. Not only saving myself, but also allowing my team to win the team fight by baiting pretty much 3 ults out of the enemy team for really nothing, no gain from them. So, really good little play there. Not intentional, however, I made it work. I have ult, however, we do want to back. Because we do all have quite big gold pools, and Infernal is spawning. Again, okay, so Nico isn't actually going to help with this one, so I am just going to help Hecarim out a little bit. Going to get this blue before I back, just because it's a little more efficient, even though it's not going to last as long if you do it on your waiter lane. I am getting it just to be a bit more efficient. And because our team does want a group, I want to spend as little time, you know, PVMing and as much time as I can PvPing. I'm looking for my next item. I think I might get a Spellbinders here. Actually, I won't because it's just a little bit too much active items. And so while it would kind of be fun to get a Spellbinders this game, I'm thinking I might just go a like kind of mid-game Leandries, just to make sure I can burn out this Gragas and this Leona in case the game does go into the kind of late game. Notice here, even though I'm ahead, I'm still building, you know, a relatively safe build, a Seraph's and a Zhonya's. Now, I'm rotating here because this is where I want Riven to run. Of course, he didn't. Again, another really good bait by me. I have my Seraphs. We do end up winning the team fight, however, I was a little bit distracted there with the chaos of the fight and did miss my Seraphs. Now we do get a triple inhib here, which is super nice. Super worth, I guess, my death, even though it was a mistake. It would have been interesting to see, actually, if Echo still would have killed me with my Seraphs. I mean, it would have absorbed 550 damage, well, probably about 500 as I was a bit low on mana. So, would have kind of been interesting there. Was a mistake by me, but because I've identified it, I think it's not too much of a problem or a long-term kind of mistake. You know, maybe if I died without using either Zhonya's and Seraphs, that would have kind of been like, okay, you now need to focus more, you know, for next game on using your items and activating them at the correct time. However, the last two team fights, I've used them almost perfectly in kind of relatively high pressure situations. Now notice I knew my team was going to get that because of our single mountain. Hecarim has gone. And that's GG. So another super easy game. I didn't do anything, you know, too insane. I didn't even play that well. I just kind of played with the game's tempo and was able to use my team. And there we go, nice little style kill there at the end. And GG, well played. So, really good game. I think the really important takeaways for that game were I made a lot of mistakes, but I also did a lot of good things. And those mistakes, while they are a lot more costly when you're playing from behind, when you are playing from in front, as long as you have the right intention and you know you guys are trying to group and play to your actual win conditions, as we all won our lanes, so everyone of course wants to group straight away, it's usually okay to make those mistakes because we are humans and it's going to be inevitable. Everyone played really well this game, however I am just going to give it to Hecarim, as he was the jungler. And generally when a team wins, it's because the jungler's playing really well, particularly when all three lanes win. So, really good win, easy game. Things I could have improved on. There were a couple of deaths there where I didn't need to die. The first one being that Echo death where I overstayed and underestimated his damage with his ignite. The second one was not using my Seraphs in that team fight. And then the other two, I can't actually remember how I died. I don't think they were two major mistakes. However, it's good to try and identify all your deaths and then look at them and go, okay, which ones were dumb, which ones were, you know, acceptable, and which ones, you know, were inevitable, I guess. So, played okay. The things I could have improved on, deaths, as I said, I do like to kind of try and have an average of about 3 deaths or less per game. CS, again, could have improved on that. You know, a 27-minute game, having 194 CS isn't the best. However, that's not too bad. You know, I'm happy with that, given how kind of quick the game ended and how quickly we grouped. I think we started grouping at about 15 minutes, so a lot harder to CS when you're pushing down lanes as 5. The early game, I think I played the early game really well. You know, while I was aware of what Echo's win condition was and what mine was, it actually kind of flipped it on its head where I was now out pressuring and out pushing Echo, and then I was using that to my advantage to make sure not only my other lanes won, but my jungler was also in a good position. So really good game there overall. Really nice damage by me. Obviously that was mainly due to me just being able to get free damage off in team fights. And because Cassiopeia is quite AoE damage focused, the more you're going to group, the more Cassio's going to do damage wise. So if you guys are still watching, I'd love for you to guys comment in the comments below and let me know kind of what champion you want to see me play next, whether it be in top lane, jungle, mid, AD carry or support. Happy to play anything and everything as long as it's not too trolly, I guess. So cheers, good luck on the Rift, and I hope to see you boys soon.